All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do issue 4 of the Fantastic Four, The End, or The End Fantastic Four, I'm not sure, from Marvel Comics. It's a bad comic. It's a really bad comic. This book shouldn't be existing, in my opinion. Art looks great. Story goes 100% nowhere. I have still no clue, even after reading this, who is the main bad guy here. There is some bad guys here, but those are more like mini stories or side stories or something. So I'm going through it and I'm going to give me my opinions. All right. So let's go through this. So on Mars here, we have Silver Surfer, the Thing, the Royal Guards of why am I blacking out? Jesus Christ. So also the Human Torch. Oh yeah, the Inhumans. So they are attacking the Sentry, right? A Kree Sentry. All right, there's a fight here. Okay, looks cool, great. Nothing wrong with that. Then we have some ads here. And more fighting and fighting, but then suddenly... The problem with what I have with Ben here is he is constantly unnecessary, angry, or emotional, or insecure. For instance, there is some kind of a weapon or massive structure here that they didn't see, and he blames himself for that because they think there are suckers or something, and it's powering up, and that is the real threat or something. I'm not sure how he came to that conclusion. I mean, the real threat is this metal robot here that wants to kill you, in my opinion, but there is a bigger threat here. And then we go to the Fantastic Four asteroid where Reed Richards is trying to opening a portal to the negative zone, but it's not really the negative zone that is important, but more like there is a dimensional interface, as he called it there, a crossroads to infinity where people can now, I don't know, use great distances with less power. And in the last issue has been shown that She-Hulk is not really, I think, it's not really shown, but the story's not that complicated. You can easily figure it out that She-Hulk is not She-Hulk and she's acting weird and she wants to know about this interdimensional portal here and the technology about that, right? And she wants to be here and help Reed, and she's doing some weird things. And she says, hey, I always worked alone, says Reed. Well, you work with Sue. I can do whatever menial chores she did for you. It's not really She-Hulk like that doing chores. But then, I don't know, a more emotional outburst because Reed is tired. He's working constantly. He's stressed out. His marriage is going wrong. But he's defending Sue about that she is, she's a really intelligent, bright woman. She didn't just make coffee and pass tools. And then he's also blaming himself because the marriage has gone wrong or something and he has to make amends. But then he's been punched out by She-Hulk, right? And she calls him a sickening human. Tells you all what's going on. And then we go to issue number 1, a flashback where they fight Dr. Doom, or a version of him. And Franklin and, Valeria is attacking him. And then something happens, right? They are gone with Doom. And there's some symbols here because I still don't know really what her powers is. Is this magic? I don't know. Anyway, so she wakes up because she has some kind of an accident in some kind of a volcano area. And then this viewport is shattered, but there's no water coming in. So she thinks that she is now under the ocean floor with oxygen. And then she talks about Agatha's translation, talks about the city beneath the sea, but it might be under the ocean floor. And then we have the symbols here, and she wants to find that city. Why? Don't know. Right, so I got another question here. If you are going to let's say to the ocean floor or even beyond that, the pressure is then immensely, it should be building up. I mean, that's a fact. But nothing happens here, right? Although she is under the ocean, nothing matters. Anyway, so we go back to Mars. This weapon shoots some kind of a beam, and a wormhole forms, and it bypasses the quarantine shell. So if I remember correctly, the quarantine shells was created by the heroes of the Earth so that Earth wouldn't be invaded. It prevents that or something, and nobody can leave unannounced. Therefore, it's a quarantine, but it bypasses that, and then the Sentry is still here. Well, they are concentrating on this tower somehow and completely leaving the Sentry. Not sure why, because it's still attacking. Then we have Black Bolt uses his voice powers and shatters the Sentinel, but also the tower. And it looks, like I said, the art looks fantastic. And therefore, you know, it's broken beyond repair. And she says, we need what we need to do to stop an invasion. But the surfer says, a ship passed through the wormhole mere milliseconds before it collapsed. The enemy is inside the solar system. So now this confused me a little bit. Which enemy are we talking about? Because I still don't know who the enemy is and what it wants. So is this an enemy that came from Mars and then go through the wormhole outside of the system? Or is it just an enemy that enters the system because the wormhole breaks the quarantine zone? Question mark. Don't know. Meanwhile, we're going to Neptune's ring, where we have the Mad Thinker and Diablo. And it seems that they are betraying Earth, and they make some kind of a deal with the Kree for reasons and about, you know, the quarantine fields thingy, because the Thinker doesn't think it's a challenge to break it down. But then there's some weird dialogue here that makes me more confused, because Diablo says, your intelligence is unquestioned, but you have no psychic powers. How do you communicate with the Kree? And what do you mean you need psychic powers to communicate with the Kree? You don't need to communicate with the Kree through psychic powers. You just can push a button, right, on the computer or on your spaceship or on your communicator, and you just talk with your mouth. There's words coming out, and there's probably some translating computer program that translates your Earth voice language to Kree. I don't know. So that's a little bit weird. But they are here to destroy the shield arc. My guess, the shield arc is responsible for the quarantine zone. Guessing. Like I said, it's just words and things that's been thrown in here, and I'm still more and more confused. There's a lot of underlying, well, it's not really underlying, but storylines that go through each other. And I think, is that really important? I mean, I get this. Is this the quarantine zone thing storyline? I said, okay, go for it. But there's also this story. Well, there's more ads. Damn it. This storyline where Sue is now going down and down, and she just sees some ancient machinery, and longtime Fantastic Four readers recognize these creatures. Well, mostly this one. From Fantastic Four #1, the very first one from 1966, I believe. Not entirely sure, but you know, from the 60s. And it's creatures from the Mole Man, and there are Moloids here. And oh no, we have the Mole Man, and he's thinking, hey, where's the rest of your crew? Because it's a little bit coincidence that you are here, because I have a great plan that I want to set in motion and to eliminate all life on Earth's surface. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you kill everything on Earth? I mean, what is the stupid plot lines? So Sue here as a storyline. Ben had a story. Well, Reed has a storyline, and we're continuing here a little bit, because they are now going after the Silver Surfer, and Johnny's simping for Medusa or something. He's just a suck up. And they want to contact Reed's asteroid because they need to scramble the Earth defenses or something, because the enemy is now going there. Which enemy? I don't know. Anyway, so they are looking through some screen. And I thought, okay, but are you now looking into Reed's asteroid? Which is actually the case, but there is no indication that they are seeing what we are seeing here. And oh no, it's the Super-Skrull. And I already thought this is a Skrull, probably the Super-Skrull, because they are enemies for a very long time. So the Super-Skrull is, I don't know, banished from his home world because, I don't know, he just screws all up. And now, because he's defeated Reed Richards, right, he wants to score some points and hopefully being reinstated into, I don't know, the home world and can go back home or something, right? But he's more interested in the transgate technology, because when the quarantine field was raised around the Sol system, the Emperor became obsessed with that technology you might develop in secret. I left the home world for Earth. Okay, cool. But then I spent years hibernating in a powerless life pod and passed through the quarantine shell. What? How did you pass through it? Isn't that why the quarantine shell exists? So that nobody can get in or out? So he passes for a human and then infiltrates the, Reed Richards quarters, laboratory, so that he can reveal its secrets for him, right? So he thinks now, I got the technology or whatever, and he's going to deliver that to the Emperor so that his reputation will be restored. So he's throwing Reed in this cube to the portal of the negative zone, right? But there is a transition gate here. The transition gate, according to Reed, there's some kind of a distortion zone, so he can slip through the cube and grabs the Super-Skrull with him. So he now goes into the negative zone, right, with the Super-Skrull. Looks cool. Again, looks super cool. But then, so I still don't know if they see what they are seeing, but according to this dialogue, they did somehow. And then, so Ben yells that, oh no, we were chasing Kree, but now Skrulls are involved. What about the quarantine? Ain't none of those aliens supposed to be there. This is bad. Of course they shouldn't be there because there's a quarantine zone, but somehow it didn't work. Not sure why, but it's not really explained. Not only that, he's getting, again, emotional and, destroys equipment. And then he says, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that because I'm a weak, pathetic male. And I look out for my kids. And Alicia, who is back on Mars, and she is in no danger at all at the moment. And he thinks about something with Doom, probably in the first issue or something. Maybe has some kind of a trauma. I don't know. But he's super insecure. And Johnny says, it'll be all right. Thanks, buddy. All right. So then the enemy here that they are chasing are none other than Ronan, the accuser, with the Shi'ar Imperial Guard. The power to control the universe will be ours. So is this, and that's my question, is this Fantastic Four satellite responsible for the quarantine zone? If that's the case, then why is there no defenses, guards, superheroes to defend this structure? Why is only Reed here, right? And if they are not here for the quarantine zone, let's say the Jesus Christ. Here, the Ark is responsible for the quarantine zone, amongst other things, like a power reactor or something. Then why are they here? And how did they know about this transit technology or something? Because it's not really clear what they are doing here, right? Meanwhile, we have Reed and the Super-Skrull, and Reed and the Super-Skrull say, oh, please, let me go, right? But they're being attacked by the denizens of the negative zone. And of course, Annihilus is here, and he wants to kill him. And he says, your presence is not by chance, but my plan. So we have another antagonist here that is say, oh, haha, I have a plan and it's all deliberate, just like Mole Man. Oh, haha, I want to destroy all life on Earth, haha, and you are just here at the right moment at the right time, or the wrong time, just depending on how you look at it. And then we have, of course, the quarantine zone things and villains that work with the Kree. I don't know what's happening. Why is this all happening? Who is the big bad baddie here? right? And why wants the Kree to have the technology, right? Aren't they friendly with the Earth humans? I mean, they have a good relationship with each other, right, through the years. Why are they attacked? Okay, I'm stopping now. This is bad. This is bad. It's too many questions, and we are 4 issues in, and I'm not a centimeter further or an inch further where this should be going. I'm ending the video here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like the video. See you next time. Bye-bye.